Is anyone actually on a date this evening? I can see a few people I think might be on dates, but I don't want to kind of embarrass you because dates are anxious enough anyway. They're fraught with anxiety, aren't they, being on a date? Because you don't know when you're going to move in for the kiss, you don't know how it's going to end up later on. They're weird and awkward. So I'd like to break the ice for you. I'll break the ice for you. Yeah. Why not suggest fucking in the disabled toilets? That's what they're for. That's why they've got that handrail for more exotic positioning. Don't give me that look. In my defence, when I was in there, I was fucking a cripple. And I'm 90% sure it was consensual. How was it? Yeah. But that is Parkinson's for you. I think clapping a Parkinson's joke is in poor taste, ladies and gentlemen. People do seem obsessed by where others are having sex. The Mile High Club is a good example. Any members of the Mile High Club in? Yeah. Doesn't count if you're on your own. You know that, right? No, the Mile High Club, making love in a plane. Yeah. Sounds exotic and glamorous, doesn't it? But what you're really saying is we fucked in a chemical toilet. Obviously, there's a budget version for you. Top deck of a bus, fingering. Are you paying attention? That's all in the wrist. Don't go in with that hand, you're a fool to yourself. You put your shoulder out. Keep that hand free for ticketing. This is fun and we're learning things. Men and women are different. Now, I know we all know that in our heads, but the more you can accept that in your hearts, I think the better, the easier life is, right? Yeah. Some examples. Women like to relax in a hot bath with candles and oils. Men, generally, prefer to masturbate in the shower. Yeah, we know what you're up to in there, ladies. Why does this loofah smell funny? Some advice for the ladies. I had a woman come up to me after the show a couple of weeks ago. She said, I think you're very sexist. I said, I think you find it's pronounced sexy. Run along, grown-ups talking. Ladies, if a man says he likes foreign films, porn. If a man says he enjoys long walks in the countryside, it might mean he's a romantic soul. It's more likely he's saying, they'll never find your body. When women put out on a first date, men don't like that. We love it. Yeah, I read a thing. It said that 98% of men are happy to have sex on a first date. I thought, well, happy? We're high-fiving strangers on a night bus. Hey! Oh, oh. Good. Of course, a lot of women don't want to have sex on a first date, even if they want to have sex on a first date, because they think if they have sex on a first date, it makes them a slag or a slut or something. Well, not anymore, ladies. You're going to have to do more than that to be a slag these days. Am I right, Tracy? I'm just saying that like, having sex on a first date just means you wanted to have sex on a first date. That's all it means. To be a slag these days, you're going to have to do so much more. I've got friends that are slags. My friend Louise is a slag. She's got 5 kids by 7 different dads. She's got a speech impediment that prevents her from saying no. Well, I say it's a speech impediment. It's actually a cock in her mouth. She's such a slag, the council trims her bush. I've got a question. I've got a question for the men. Have you ever seen a woman so unattractive to you, it makes you question your sexuality? I'll explain. Because for me, it would be like Gillian McKeith. You know the woman from How Clean Is Your Poo? Weird-looking creature. So if you put Gillian McKeith there and Brad Pitt there, and you said to me, your life depends on it, you've got to do it with one of them. You've got to make the beast with 2 backs. Do the sticky belly. What? I would think, right, I'm a heterosexual man. Gillian is a woman. Gillian is. Oh. Jesus. Give it here. Is that bad? Does that make me half rice, half chips? You were right. Well, OK, let me give you a moral dilemma. What's your name? I didn't get your name earlier. Marcus. OK. Moral dilemma for you. All right. Anne Widdecombe, George Clooney. If you had to, You'd go for Anne Widdecombe? Are you mental? She's got a face like a bulldog licking the piss off a nettle. And she's a hell of a size. You're a slip of a lad, she'd fuck you in half. And that is only where your problems begin, because I imagine her peachy pouch, her Lala, her Fufu, her Wendy, her special lady garden, call it what you will, I bet it looks like a badger that's been hit with a shotgun. I bet there are police divers that would be squeamish about going down on that. I bet it looks like a bulldog eating mayonnaise. I bet George Clooney's got the prettiest cock you've ever seen. Why don't you just spit roast her? You're suggesting I double team Anne Widdecombe with George Clooney. Now that is a celebrity sex tape that would sell. Someone said that the other day, Marcus. Someone was as macho as you the other day. They went, well, yeah, Anne Widdecombe, just put a bag over her head. Really? Has that ever happened, ladies? How low would your self-esteem have to be that you would fuck a guy who's just gone, can I just... That's better. Chat-up line. Let's do some chat-up lines, OK? Obviously, the best chat-up line is, will you hold my pint while I go for a shit? Steve, everyone. And his brilliant chat-up line, if you were a soup, what flavour of soup would you be? Well, I think that's right up there with, does this rag smell of chloroform to you? And the evergreen, let's not turn this rape into a murder. The problem with chat-up lines is you know whether they're going to work pretty much immediately. You know straight away whether the girl's thinking you're a dick or buy us a drink, OK? So I've written some abort mission lines for you, so you could be sort of halfway through a chat-up scenario and you can abort the mission if you think it's going badly, right? So it would work like this. You would say, do you want to dance? She'd have a face like thunder. You'd go, can I have your seat? Yeah. Did you hurt yourself when you fell from heaven? Because it looks like you landed on your face. I've never seen a more beautiful woman in my life. So can you move? Here's 10 pence, ring your mum. Tell her I'll be round in half an hour to fuck her. Get your coat, you've pulled. Hang on, wait, you probably don't own a coat. Girls your size tend not to feel the cold. And my personal favourite, save this for someone special. Your father must have been a thief, because you look like a pikey. Let's talk about gifts, because gifts are very important when you're in a relationship. They show your partner how you feel about them. This is interesting. My girlfriend suggested last Christmas that we limit ourselves to £20 for each other's presents. But I wasn't thinking about spending that kind of money. Obviously, if you're buying gifts for a woman, it's pretty easy. Just go for the classics. You know, champagne, chocolates, flowers. Unless you're dating an alcoholic bulimic with hay fever. I buy my girlfriend flowers every week, because I really fancy the girl in the florist. I've told the girl in the florist my girlfriend's dead. I thought it was a good idea at the time. It slightly backfired. You try explaining to your other half why you got her a wreath 4 weeks in a row. Obviously, different flowers express different emotions. So, for example, red flowers say passion. Yellow flowers say love. And self-raising flower says, make me a cake. My girlfriend said recently, she said, we need some romance in our lives. So I took the hint, I booked a hotel, flowers, chocolate, champagne, petals on the bed, the full bit. Ended up having incredible sex. Of course, it turned out she wanted me to take her. What's the fucking point of that? I live with her. She'll be there when I get back. Put the kettle on, love, and fucking knackered. I'm not saying I feel cheated, but when we got together, she said to me, I'm very liberal about sex. I don't care what people do, as long as they're consenting adults and no one gets hurt. There's always a catch, isn't there? No one gets hurt. Consenting. adults. Basically, no fun. Right, some sex tips. Let's try and be grown up about this, yeah? Gentlemen, if you're having sex with a new partner for the first time, never take a run-up. I know what you like, you want to make a good first impression, but you don't want to actually leave a dent. A lot of women don't like it if you leave your socks on during sex, but I always leave one on because I don't want to get her pregnant. Some women don't like to have the lights on, but it can't be helped in my case because they come on automatically when I open the car door. And then they stay on for 20 seconds, so it is over. This isn't advice, this is more of a reminder, and it's a reminder to men in long-term relationships, because standards can slide as a relationship goes on. Just a reminder for the men in long-term relationships, it is never acceptable, yeah, to answer the phone when lovemaking. Even if you hilariously pick up by saying, I can't talk now, I'm going into a tunnel. Some common myths you may have heard. These, they're just myths, they're not true. The best lubricant for anal sex is not tears. It's blood. I bought some KY jelly. It said on the box not to be taken internally. I thought, where do they think it's fucking going? If you are going to have sex, I can't stress this enough, if you're going to have sex with someone that you don't know, always, always, always ask. Very important. Let's talk about sexual health, shall we? STDs, STIs and the like, because there's a big difference, my young friend, between giving a girl goosebumps and giving her a rash. What? Have you all seen the advert where the girl's got AIDS written on a bra and chlamydia written on her knickers? Well, that is no way to tell your partner. It turns out. Chlamydia, though, that's the one you want to get. That's the gold standard of STIs. It's the best one. I was chatting to a friend who's a proper doctor. He said, chlamydia is rife, and the worst thing is, there are no symptoms. I said, how's it even a disease? He said, it can make a woman infertile. I said, I'll throw away these condoms then, shall I? The only way chlamydia could get any better is if the discharge was a pizza. The women are thinking, that is disgusting. And the men are thinking, that would be brilliant. Can I just make the point, there's a lot of young ladies in today, can I just make the point, it is totally socially acceptable for young women to carry condoms in their purse or in their bag, of course it is. But a young man carrying a coil is weird. Do you know how the coil contraceptive device works? No idea? Well, I'll explain. Think of me as a kindly uncle. The way the coil contraceptive device works is that the lady says to the man, I've got a piece of coiled metal somewhere in my vajayjay, and the man goes off the idea. You've got a bit of metal where? Any chance of a gob job? Let's talk about breakups, because breakups can be hard, can't they? It's not you, it's me is a terrible way to break up with someone, but not as bad as it's not you, it's her. Women give us the silent treatment because they think it's a punishment. We've got a special name for the silent treatment. We call it peace and quiet. I don't want to sound misogynistic, but I think breakups are easier for women than they are for men, because I think women have got a support network of friends and family that they really talk to about their actual emotions. What have men got in a breakup to fall back on? All we've got is our mates. You try telling your mates a girl has broken your heart, and your mates will likely as not go, well, it's just as well, because you're clearly a puff. I had it happen recently with my friend Russell. He broke up with his wife. They'd been married for 4 years, together for 6. And she's left him for another guy. What do you say? I don't have the vocabulary to have that kind of emotional conversation. I ended up falling back on the old cliches. I said, there's plenty more fish in the sea. He said, yeah, but it's not just the smell I miss. Well, on that cerebral and edifying note, has anyone got any questions or queries about sex or relationships? Anything you need to know?
What's your favourite position?
I like reverse cowgirl, but, you know, I'm old-fashioned that way. What's yours, sir? Various. I think I can...
It's a match, eh? Pick and mix.
Yeah, I imagine, it's either that or that. Yeah. Maybe a bit of that, who knows? Yeah, treat yourself, why not?
What wouldn't you do that your missus would ask you to do?
What wouldn't I do that my missus would ask me to do? Stop. I was parked earlier on a single yellow line and I was worried about the traffic warden coming when I wasn't there, so I left a little note on the windscreen for the traffic warden. Do you do that? I always leave a note saying, "Oi, traffic warden cunt, I fucked your mum." Apparently, the rear passenger side of the car is the safest place to be in an accident. Yeah. Although I think if you're back there, it might explain why you crashed. If it's an offence to impersonate a policeman, why have we got community support officers? My girlfriend's got one of those tiny little strips of hair. What are they called? Moustache. Landing strip? She's only 12. I'm joking. She's got a landing strip. She's a very hairy little girl. I've slightly upset myself with that. She's a vegetarian. Any other vegetarians in? A few vegetarians around? Caroline's vegetarian. She thinks it's disgusting that I eat veal, but she eats baby carrots. They're babies. Of course, some women can eat whatever they want, they don't put on any weight, and they're called bitches. Not that I don't mind the fuller figure, I quite like the larger lady. I went out with a girl once who was quite a lot larger. Yeah. When she sat around the house, she sat around the house. If you had a pillow fight, you had to use a duvet. I undressed her with my eyes. It took me 45 minutes. I tried to spoon with her. It's more like a ladle. I've got a photo of her somewhere, taken by Google Earth. My girlfriend and I are trying for a baby. We got pretty close outside Asda last Saturday. I was in Los Angeles last year doing a bit of work and I got stopped at the airport. They said, "Purpose of visit?" I said, "I'm here to shoot a pilot." That's 3 hours of my life I'm not getting back. I was told when I was 12 years of age by my Catholic priest, he said to me, "God is watching you when you masturbate." I said, "Is he a pedo too far?" I'm joking. I said, "Is he a pedo too far?" Now, that joke may be offensive to Catholics, but it's not the only reason I like it. The thing about Childline... I haven't said anything yet. The thing about Childline is now we have a generation of children that can't keep a secret. I know that doesn't sound very charitable, but let me leave you with this. 10 pence from the sale of every one of my DVDs goes to the poor, underprivileged children of Cambodia. Who manufacture them. Listen, I've been Jimmy Carr. Thank you very much indeed for coming out. Cheers.